Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hello Day Down with Astronomy. We're going to start this week off with the Terra Ex update, where we are currently fighting for system control in LTT 5212. By the time this video goes live, there's a good chance we have already won the system control. We are currently, at the time of this recording at least, we are 3 days up, 1 day down. So one more day and the system should be ours, which is nice. Another system with Terra Ex in control would be lovely. But yeah, hopefully that war, or that war, I think it's an election actually, should be over by the time this video goes live, if we win that last day, as we're hoping. Of other things, we are currently building CD33 up towards expansion, but as always when we do expansions, we don't go out publicly with our expansion targets, mainly because we don't want someone to swoop in and take the system right in front of our noses as we're building up towards it. So while we of course have a target system in mind, we do keep the target systems a secret until we are in there. Over on Project Greenfield in Aurare, we have Party of Aurare and Union of Aurare sitting very close to each other. The goal right now is to try and get those two factions just moved a slight bit closer to each other. That's going to initiate a conflict between them. Once those two are locked in a conflict, we should be able to boost up Aurare Ring so they can leapfrog over, so we can begin to get Aurare Ring into the mix and begin to transfer some of those settlements over. In otherly dangerous news, Frontier, they snuck in update 10 with a very, very short notice. I think there was less than 24 hours from when the post went up till the patch was deployed and live. So that was a very, very short notice for the update. But the update included a number of optimizations and crash fixes, and from what I've heard from a lot of people is that they're getting some good performance increases, and they've been able to bump up their graphic settings. So it definitely looks like over the last couple of patches, Frontier has been doing some good optimization work on Odyssey, and I think it's about time I go back and I do another measurement of the performance of the game, just to see where we're at compared. And it could be fun to go back and look and see how much has improved since launch, because I think with these small incremental updates, you don't necessarily always notice it if you just get like 5 FPS or 2 or 3 FPS every time. But if that happens over 10 updates, then all of a sudden you have 20, 30, 50 FPS more than when you started. So definitely, I think that's the thing I'll be doing this week, is to go back in and do some more tests with the performance, just to see where we're at and then compare it to the original launch numbers that I still have lying around. But there are other things in this patch as well. And a lot of it revolved around BTS. There was a lot of interesting BTS, and it seems to be Frontier's first shot at trying to fix some of these problems there is with Anarchy factions that they've been extremely difficult to run. I think one of the most notable changes was the fact that influence from trade into a station or out of a station is now dependent on the supply and demand on the station. That means if you are just constantly selling a material to a station, if there is no demand for that material, it's going to have less influence on the BTS, which, when you think about it, makes a lot of sense. And it's an interesting way to prevent people from just like dumping like thousands and thousands of units of something into a station that they may not need, where the demand has already been filled. So you have to buy various items, and of course the higher the demand or the higher the supply is, the more you're going to get in terms of influence. So you need to go and find the stuff they need the most and then give them to that if you're going to use trade for farming influence for a faction. So that's very interesting, and as I said, there's been a lot of changes happening to all the on-foot stuff, and they also seem to have fixed the codex. I haven't actually tested it yet, but they at least put it in the patch note that the on-foot actions now should be correctly reflected in the codex, which I know is something that a lot of explorers has really been annoyed about. So hopefully that is fixed now. Over on Star Citizen, we have patch 3.16.1, which of course included the new Consolidated Outlands hover quad, which we got in the game. I got a chance to play around with it today. Someone on Discord was kind enough to spawn one in for me, so I could have a go at it. And it's a fun little vehicle. I really like it. Smaller than I thought, but I like it. I think it will be. I think it will be a favorite amongst people to have because of the cargo and all those things. I will do a dedicated video on it when we have a little bit more information regarding pricing. But yeah, it's a fun little thing, and if you haven't tried it yet, when it becomes available, I would definitely recommend you go and pick it up, or go to Discord and ask if someone can spawn one for you. We have a dedicated Star Citizen section on Discord, where I just posted in there, said, hey, anyone who got this, I really want to try and fly it, and then we spawned it in. We've actually done that for some other people that wanted to try some of the ships that I had, and say, hey, I'm considering if I should build up towards getting that ship, but I don't know if it's for me. And I said, you know what, I'll spawn it for you, you can play with it, and then you could play around with it for an afternoon. And with this patch, we also got the new derelict ships with all their secrets and puzzles and trip mines, and the new loot systems where you can go and find armor and weapons and stuff like that, scattered across these derelicts. Now, this leads me on to the next, which I want to talk about, which is the whole vision for exploration. Now, exploration in Star Citizen is going to be significantly different to what you may be used to from a game like Elite, where in Elite you go out, you find new star systems, you might find a cool planet and say, hey, that's cool, now that's my planet. Star Citizen is going to be different. There's not going to be that many unexplored systems. There's going to be a significantly less number of systems, but the way that CRG is going about exploration is, for instance, they're going to have all these derelicts, and they're going to be placed all around the systems on planets where you can find a crashed ship. Well, the first thing they'll do is they'll try to make them fit into whatever biome they're in. So if there's a ship that's been sitting in a desert, then it will look appropriate to that. And if it's crashed down on in a forest or a jungle somewhere, then it will be covered up in growth or whatever. So they will maybe, even though they are similar derelicts, they may be altered in some kind of way so that they fit into whatever biome they're sitting in, making them less recognizable. If you come across the same twice, if they're in different biomes, they might look different. You might not recognize it at first. So I think that's pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think there could be some really cool screenshots with it, and of course they're going to contain all the loot, and there could also be some of them that's been inhabited. People have used them as a makeshift base. But what I think is most interesting is they're going to be logs and information on board the ship for you to find and to discover, telling you something about the ship, something about the crew, figuring out why did this ship crash? Was it attacked? Was it a technical malfunction? Was it sabotage? What happened to this kind of a little backstory between the ship that you find? And I think that's super cool when you go out and you come across a crashed ship somewhere, and you go in and you figure out what happened to the crew, and did they survive the crash? Did they die on impact? What happened? I think that's going to be pretty cool, and it's an interesting approach to exploration in a spaceship game, where it's not exploring new star systems, but it is finding cool places that on planet surfaces. There could be a moon where we just have a few bases, but maybe the moon hasn't been fully explored, so you can go and find these crashed ships here and there. And of course, we also have stuff like underground cave systems and all those kind of things that I could see CRG be working with in the future. And actually, tomorrow on the live stream, we are going to be playing Star Citizen, and I think I will be going out trying to see if we can get a look at some of these new derelicts, trying to solve some of the puzzles, probably get blown up by some of the trip mines in the process. I'll see what happens, but it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be fun, and I hope you'll join me. Of course, it'll be here on YouTube and Twitch, and it will be at 8 o'clock GMT, business as usual. Thanks all for watching. That's gonna be it for this time. Remember to give the video a like and subscribe, and until next time, I will see you best in space.